Good bloody morning. Wednesday, the 19th of November. It is 5:30 and it's bloody freezing outside. Oh my word. That wind is... Luckily, I literally live around the corner from the gym. I'm going to show you how long it takes me to get there whilst I'm talking, doing the intro for the video. Because as it's Wednesday, it's also check-in day. And to make sure that my check-in shots stay consistent and in good lighting, I come to the gym and take them in the studio, which I'm very lucky to be able to do. But it's a little bit of a walk outside first. And here we are. Easy as that. And this is the studio. So we're quite lucky here at the gym, Gaines and St Neots, because only us PTs have access to this studio. For classes, clients, obviously know the code, so I just come in here nice and early before anybody else gets in. And the lighting, as you can see, these down lighting here, it's pretty tasty. Let's get you set up. So this is the little setup I've got going on. Phone, portrait mode, which I position in between these two lights. I'll obviously stand right in the middle. And I also use this clicker, which came with the tripod, connects to my phone. I put this in my posing trunks, do the countdown function on my phone. So it'll count down from 10 seconds. I'll get into the pose. The camera will make the shutter noise to let me know it's taken a photo, and then I'll move into the next pose. That way I can hold my poses so I'm practicing them, and the quality of the check-in photos is way better. I just realised that this has not been close to my mouth, so that probably felt or sounded really weird, sorry. So yeah, time to go through some poses. Back in the den, I want to show you something. I got myself an AeroPress. I've had a few people tell me about these and I was like, I like my drip cup, I'm going to stick with that. Being stubborn. However, I bought one. And by the way, they're not expensive. I think this was, I can't even remember, it was either 20 or 30 quid, but minimal, right? This makes so much better coffee. I've been missing out. If you have ground coffee in a drip cup or something, just fuck it off, get an AeroPress. Makes it quicker, makes it taste better, easy. Now since the last video, I don't actually know if I covered my food increase on the last video, but I've had a food increase, so calories are basically up to 4,000 now. And I'm still eating the same 5 meals every single day, because I fucking love them. Even on a rest day, same meals. So first meal going down, you know by now, yogurt, granola, etc. So I'm gonna make that and scrap it. And then do my check-in with my coach, which I probably will run through how I do it. Just to show you first the little concoction that I add to my yogurt bowl. Chia seeds, you can buy big bags of these from Amazon. I have 5 grams of that, 5 grams of milled flax seeds. This granola that you can get from Lidl, incredible by the way. It's dark chocolate and almond. And then extra brute cocoa powder, just adds that chocolatey taste. And the way that I'm using at the moment is the sticky toffee from Perform, which is one of my favorites for sure. It's a new flavor and it's definitely gone straight into the top 3. And I'm not usually like a very big sticky toffee person. Like if a sticky toffee was on a menu versus like a cheesecake or a banoffee pie, I would also always pick one of the other two. But that flavour, banging. I'm so sorry about that, by the way. How rude of me. But that is the drying place for that cloth. Let's bring you down a touch. There we go. Meal number 1. 166 grams of 0% Greek fat. 0% fat Greek yogurt. Fucking hell, the cogs aren't turning yet, people. 100 grams of blueberries, frozen as you can see on top, and I do just blast this in the microwave for a minute just so they melt, and then when I mix it in, it doesn't make the yogurt all hard. 5 grams of chia seeds, 5 grams of flax seeds, 5 grams of cocoa powder, 30 grams of granola, pink salt, and of course, a coffee. It's the little things in life that you just have to appreciate, don't you? I love a Wednesday. I've got my check-in day with Matt, my coach, and then I train upper usually with Charlie later, but he's in Thailand, the selfish bastard, so we're not training together today. Anyway, I'm gonna get tucked into this. I've learned my lesson. I'm gonna put that down, finish my mouthful, then talk. That is lovely. That's all I've got to say. Actually, something that's just come to mind is, Kat and I went to an Indian in St. Neots called the Rose and Mango. If you've not been and you live in the St. Neots area, fucking go. It's so good. I've never been a big fan of Indian food. Like, it's never my first choice. But after that, I was like, wow, this is good. And I've heard very good things about it for good reason. So this is meal 1, it's going in at 6 o'clock. Got a PT at 7. And then that's it for now. I'll show you my meals. I'm gonna take you through the upper body session later. And just some general waffle, so stay tuned. It's fucking snowing today. How rude. Can't believe it. All of a sudden, just got freezing cold. Today's the first day I've had the heating on. I may have said that earlier. Either way, we are back from PT. When I say we, I mean me. I don't know why I and other people say we when they talk about themselves. Meal 2. It's a good one, which they all are. Beef, rice, eggs, soy, sweet chili. Fucking love this meal. I need to do my prepayment key because my flat's about to run out of electricity. Can you imagine if the lights just go off now? No. And then I've got a review call with Jazz. She's coming up to her 3-month mark. So what I do with clients that are doing the online premium package is a review call every 3 months where we go over the goals that we set, and we set 3 new goals for the next 3-month block as well. And it gives them an opportunity to give me some feedback as well, which I'm always open to taking on board. I'm not one of these that is, or has an ego and will be like, no, my service is pristine, blah, blah, blah. Like, I know that it can always be better. I know it's good as well, but if there's anything that I can do to improve the service to that person, that's what I'm looking for. Or just the service in general, like they might have found something a bit confusing. I'm like, okay, so if you're finding that confusing, so are other people most likely. So I'm always looking to develop and upgrade my service. And I've been doing this for, well, since the lockdown, so what, 4 years now? It feels like a lot longer than that, to be honest. Very grateful to be in this position I am now. And I said this on my Instagram the other day. I'm at the point where I'm almost gonna have to put a cap on PT numbers. I could probably take on 1 or 2 more people, and that'll be like 4 PTs per day, and that is the most I want to do. I could do more, don't get me wrong, but it also takes away stuff that I want to do in regards to other parts of the business. It takes away time that I can do to online clients and my personal life, my own social life, like time I could spend with Kat, my family, with Bella at the weekend, you know. So I don't want to just be a workaholic and work more, make more money, yes, but also it comes at the cost of your own well-being, most of the time anyway. So yeah, I'm riding that balance right now of work and life very well, I feel. And yeah, I'm just very happy to be in this position right now, and very grateful to be able to work with such an incredible bunch. And it's a shame I can't help more people because it's only one me. Could the team grow and expand in the future? Who knows? That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? But anyway, I'm going to stop waffling, get cracking with meal number 2. Here we have it. Meal number 2. Coming from a Tupperware. I don't usually eat out of a Tupperware. It's just because the last bit of veg I had was in this. So again, saves the washing up. When you haven't got a washing machine, you got to be efficient. 2 fried eggs, 150 grams of beef mince. This has come up to 100 grams of rice now. It was 75 before. 200 grams of non-starchy veg, which is aubergine, courgette, tomato, onion, pepper. Mix it all up in the air fryer. The seasoning I use for the beef is paprika, garlic, and Cajun. Same with the veg. On top of the eggs is some everything bagel seasoning, and of course a little bit of pink salt. And then also mixed in is sweet chili and low salt soy sauce. And I'll tell you what, if I had to pick one savory meal as my favorite, it would be this one. This beats the 2 chicken meals for me. Yeah, for sure. So fucking good. It's the veg mix that makes it. And I keep saying this to clients, your vegetable choice will make or break a meal. So if you're buying the frozen vegetable packs and wondering why your meals taste like shit, there's your answer. Spend a bit more time preparing your veg, and I promise you it will transform your meal. Just try that veg concoction I mentioned. I use a veg chopper from Amazon. You've probably seen it before. Whack it all in the air fryer, make a big batch of it, and then just add 200 grams to each meal when I need it. Game changer. Also got one English russet apple, which I've only just tried recently when I started buying my food from the market in St. Neots High Street, on the Market Square, sorry. And she described it as a combination between a pear and an apple, and it's so accurate. Banging. Have a monster after that, and then a cool very shortly. See you in the next clip. Number 3, sorry, the pre-workout meal. Nice and simple, chicken and rice, sauerkraut, 25 grams of honey, 15 grams of almond butter, and 150 grams of pineapple. Love this meal. I also use some hot sauce, a swap between like sriracha and Frank's Buffalo, and then also put a little bit of cinnamon on it as well, which sounds really strange, but trust me, it works. Excuse me. So next up, PT at 11:15. Then I get back, switch this on for a big upper session. Catch you there. Well, that was the shortest PT of my life. Literally just got to the gym. Beth let me know that she is not feeling too great. A little bit sick, throwing up, but bless her, she tried to at least start the session. I said, listen, there's no point doing a session today. It's not worth it. Your body's obviously fighting off some sort of an illness. It would be silly of us to train, potentially make you even more unwell, and then it's just going to take you even more time to recover and get back to 100% training. So I used to do this as well, right? Is the mic on? Yeah, I feel like I've always got to check these fucking mics. Where I would push through being unwell and just continue training. When in fact, the best thing to do if you're not feeling 100% is just rest. Because if you think about it like this, when you're unwell, your body is trying to recover and fight off an infection, an illness. If you're going to train or do any form of high intensity cardio, your body is also having to recover from that stressor. So you're just digging yourself into an even deeper hole, and as a result, it takes you longer to properly recover, and your training is going to be subpar for a longer period of time, or you're going to get even more unwell and have to spend some proper time outside of the gym because you're just bedridden. So rest, especially around this time of the year. A lot of people getting unwell with the change in weather. But what I do want to show you is my croats. So what I do when I make the croats, I put a cover over it like this. This has been on it now for about 10 minutes with the dark chocolate pieces. So now you can see they're all melted. And I'm going to try and show you this if I can. What I'll do now is, now that's melted, this bowl is very hot. I just get the back of like a teaspoon and just move the dark chocolate around. But you're getting the idea here, right? I'm just creating a little layer of dark chocolate, and then I get my whey paste and drizzle it on top. Now if you haven't watched this before, this channel, if you're wondering what the hell are croats, cream of rice and oats merged together. Incredible. And then I've got my whey paste, drizzle that over the top, put it in the fridge. It makes like a hard layer, so it's like cream of rice and oats, dark chocolate, whey paste, banana on top, cherries, honey. It's fucking orgasmic, mate. Get on it. But first I'll let that cool off. That's the post-workout meal anyway. I've seen that my check-in has come through from Matt, so That is my next thing to do. Watch that and give him my feedback, which is key. And a lot of people forget to do that. Clients. Alexa, turn the light on. When you get your response, you're checking feedback from your coach. If you want to get the most out of it, the coach is probably going to ask you questions and bring things up to discuss. And it's that discussion process that needs to happen so that there's dialogue between coach and client, there's good communication, and there's good level of understanding of what's going on and clarity on the plan moving forward. Without that, the coach doesn't really know, number one, have you actually watched the fucking check-in? And number two, do you understand what I'm asking you to do? You know? So if you're a client of mine watching this and you don't reply to your damn check-ins, reply to your damn check-ins, all right? So just a little bit about what I actually track with Matt, my coach. And I've had people ask me before, like, why do you have a coach when you're a coach? Because I just like having somebody to, number one, hold me accountable, and number two, just tell me what to do. Because I plan for all of my client stuff. That's all I'm doing, as I'm planning for other people. I don't have to plan for myself on top of that as well. It's just another thing for me to worry about. So if I can just hand that off to someone else, fantastic. Someone else has got more knowledge than me as well. So I can also ask him questions whenever I need to, about anything really. Like whatever pops into my head and I'm like, I wonder what, I'm not too sure on that one. I just ping it across to Matt, he gives me a voice note, we have a bit of backwards and forwards, and I understand and learn. So it's making me a better coach. It's an investment into not only me as a bodybuilder, but me as a coach. So every week I fill out my body weight, the sessions that I've done. I send in progress pictures, which you would have seen already. I tell him my accuracy to the diet, and this past week it's been spot on, other than Saturday when we had an Indian, but I've factored the calories in. Every other day has been on the money. I track my steps, my cardio, my sessions, and then how the sessions go as well. Then things like muscle soreness, recovery, frequency of stool movements, like how often I shit, sleep quality, and I just leave some notes for him at the end of the check-in as well, just to give him a bit of a rundown of what's going on. And I'm super detailed with my check-ins. I send him form clips as well. Like every week I send Matt form clips, and you know, my training is very good. I'm not being big-headed. It's good because I record my sets, I send form clips, and I have done to not just Matt, but to every coach I've had. And it's that continuous process of form clip, feedback, application that leads to your training improving, your rate of progress coming on faster as well. So realize that training is the number one variable that will move your progress forward faster than anything else. It's not a special supplement, it's not getting 10 hours of sleep, although those things help. Training is the top of the castle. The king of the castle, king of the castle. Borat reference. So yeah, focus on your training, dial that in, and that will excel your progress forward faster than anything. Let's get on to what he has to say. All right, just about to head to the gym to get stuck into upper, but got to get this down first. 2 scoops of non-stim. And then an hour before I train, I had a coffee. So that's my caffeine hit. Non-stim going in half an hour before I start training, and then I also have my intra, which I have usually after like exercise one, and that's the midpoint between my pre and post-workout meal, which is 30 grams of maltodextrin, 1 scoop or 12 grams of EAAs. The flavour I've got at the moment is shit, by the way. Lemon sherbet from Beast Farmer, Eddie Hall's brand, would not recommend. That's fucking horrible as well. Ugh. I don't really care how good a panel is. If it tastes like shit, I'm not buying it again. I want to enjoy this. And yeah, you may get like some marginal benefits from having a better dose non-stim or stim or any supplement for that matter. But for me, taste matters. I like it to taste good, all right? What I wanted to show you is how I lay out my logbook. So hopefully you can see that. But you can see here, this is the upper session, right? So I've got my exercises along the left column there. The numbers in this column are what I did last week. Now the good thing about this layout compared to the pre-laid logbooks is I can get 7 sessions on one page there. So I haven't got to flick back through loads of sessions, and I haven't got to write out all these exercises again. I can see the exercise, I can see the tempo as in this says 3-1-1-1, which basically means a 3-second eccentric, a 1-second pause in the stretch position, a 1-second concentric, and a 1-second pause in the contracted position. So the majority of movements I do, I always pause it in both end ranges, which I would encourage for most people. I think it promotes good accuracy, time under tension, no ego lifting, you're not just throwing weight around, because if you know a pause is coming in that stretch position, you're not just gonna like drop and catch the weight at the bottom, you're gonna control it, which also gives you more time to take in a larger amount of air, get better bracing, and generate more force as a result. At the top, the dates, above that, my sleep score. So this is getting into the weeds now, and most people, or a lot of people might think, why are you writing sleep score down? You shouldn't look into this too much. I just like to know, because mainly if it was dog shit and the session then ends up being shit, I kind of know why. However, if my sleep was shit, I would still go in with the same mindset as if my sleep was sleep score of 100. I'm gonna fucking get after it. I don't care how tired I feel. And then afterwards I can assess, okay, was it good? Was it bad? What's the reason why? Was it my sleep? Was it digestion? Was it stress? Something else? Then I've got the red numbers here are the bottom numbers of the rep range. So most of the time it's 8, but I've got some 6s there. So I know that I need to get like a minimum of 8 reps, 6 reps, whatever it is. And then I just kind of like stick on the same weight for a period of time and just work the reps up. And then when I'm at a good number of reps, I increase the load by a little bit, like 2.5, 5 kilos, or even 1.25, depending on the exercise. So that's the plan. I'm gonna walk you through the session. We're gonna get stuck in. Usually I train with Charlie today, but like I said, I brought him up again, haven't I? I spoke about him earlier. I'm clearly missing him. Fucking pricks in Thailand. Jealous, mate. If you are watching this, hope you're having a good time. And I'm gonna have a great session without you, so fuck you. Right, let's fucking get into it. Time to get massive. What am I doing? All right, so before we properly get stuck into it, I'll just grab a yellow band out of my bag and just get the shoulders moving, get some blood into the joints, blood into the muscles that I'm gonna train. Do what feels good more than anything. There's no like specific routine that I do. Like I said, I'm just moving my body a little bit before getting stuck into the actual work, because you know, up to this point I've really just been sitting at a desk, so I'm a bit stiff and jacked up. So the standard, right? The external rotation. It's funny when you see people do these with a dumbbell. Sorry, it's not that one, is it? It's this one. They'll do this with a dumbbell. I'm like, brother, you realise dumbbells act on gravity. Doing this movement with a dumbbell is not doing anything. You need to do it like that. During this time I also get a bit of emotional music on. At the moment I'm big into intense piano. A client of mine, David, has got me into Ludovico Einaudi, I think it's pronounced. Gets you in a zen mode for training. It's hard to explain. I don't know if anybody's listened to like Hans Zimmer whilst they train. It's similar to that sort of vibe. All right, first exercise is the pec deck. So we usually use the other one, but it's been broken for a while now. I swapped in the Gym 80. The only problem with this pec deck is as you come to the top, because the handles are a little bit short, I can't get the pec fully contracted. I want to be able to do this straight in my arms, but I kind of end here. So to get around that, last week we used cuffs on the handles. This week I'm just trying it with fat grips so that the handle is on my forearm instead. And that also in turn helps me get a better mind muscle connection. You know, I'm not using any sort of bicep or anything like that. So that found that really, really helped. You'll see with this as well, I'm shifting my hips forward slightly and trying to keep my shoulders back. It's very common on the pec deck that people do this sort of thing. It's a bit exaggerated, but you get what I'm trying to say. So by shifting the hips forward and leaning back, I'm able to keep my chest nice and high. And I'm just coming to there, making sure that it is my chest that's moving the weight and not my shoulders or biceps or anything else. 60 for 7 last week, 60 for 8 it is. Yeah. Oh. Say that. Arsenal incline chest press up next. So got a bit of a setup going on here. I've got the step, which is in turn raising my feet up a little bit, which is creating less of an arch in my lower back, so I'm able to stack my rib cage a little bit better. If I don't have that step, then I'm more likely to arch through my back, lift my sternum up, which is actually shifting the tension onto the lower pec a little bit. And I'm probably not going to be in as strong of a position because of that arching, because my rib cage isn't stacked very well. I've also got this seat to elevate myself up a little bit more. I say seat, this pad is just elevating myself up a little bit more, so that my elbow path is a bit more tucked, which for me feels better. Get a bit of a better alignment with the upper chest. Last time I got 90 for 6, and I'm not even trying to, well, obviously I would like to beat that, don't get me wrong, but what I focus on is quality, effort. Wherever the reps land, they land. If it's the same, so be it. Eventually they will go up over time, but I'm not chasing progressions at the detriment of good form. Oh, that felt fucking good, that. Wow. So match reps, but I think the tempo was slightly better there, as in my eccentrics were slower. I think if I'm being honest with myself, the pauses weren't as good as what I'd like them to be. So that'll be the goal for next week. Same weight, same reps, better pauses. And yes, in my logbook, my reps and weight isn't going up, but my form is improving through improving in tempo mainly. And as a result, that is a form of progression in itself. So you don't want to get too caught up in constantly seeking load and rep progressions. Think about a progression in terms of improvement to your form instead, because I think that's the best form of progression. Sometimes that leads to you having to reset a particular lift, and that's okay. If you need to pull it back by 10, 20 kilos with that new established and better form, do it, and then build it up over time with that new form. But that's the goal, to try and keep it as consistent as you can. But we're human, right? We can't help but chase those numbers, and as a result of that, the form just does slip over time sometimes. And usually it takes like 8, 9, 10 weeks for you to realize, because it's been small changes in form over time. And then that's where you just have to be honest with yourself, pull it back a little bit, reset it, run it up again. Another little tip with this machine or other machines that require you to maybe start in a position that is a little bit past your range of motion, you can use these little plates like that. So all I've done is sandwich this plate between the two stoppers. When I press the first rep up, that plate just drops down, and then I can continue on with the set. So if you want to do something like that, you know, if I didn't do that, then somebody would have to spot me for the first rep. But I don't really want to have to ask someone, number one. And number two, what if I've got like a 50 kilo lad helping me versus a 120 kilo guy helping me? The 120 kilo guy is going to be able to pull it way harder up, and as a result, help me more with the first rep. You know, so we're trying to keep everything as consistent as possible. So then when it comes to tracking your numbers, there's less variables to consider, you know? So that's something to consider as well. A real good tip when it comes to any kind of chest pressing movement is knowing where your shoulders are throughout the movement. Because majority of people allow their shoulders or front delts to take over during the chest pressing movement, right? So what that will probably look like is something like this. They start here, they come to the top, and then they round their shoulders forward. With a chest press, you want your shoulders back and down. So think back, down, chest up, and keep your chest there, right? As you come to the top of the press, don't let your shoulders come forward at the same time. And that applies the same thing with pec deck, an incline press, shoulders back and down. Very good cue. I've been stuck on this weight for 3-4 weeks now, I believe. The last time I actually even dropped a rep. So the goal here is 6. I got 5 plus 1 last week. And if I don't get 6, then it's probably time I try and progress a different rep range on this. Or it might just be looking at, okay, am I recovering properly? Is there a possibility of doing maybe too much chest volume? Do we need a deload? I was thinking last week I'm probably due a deload soon just based on how I was feeling and sleeping. But I don't feel like I need one yet. So it might be on the horizon, and that could be the reason why I'm struggling to progress this now. But we'll see. I'm not going to go in with the mindset of I'm not going to progress. I'm going to go in with the mindset of I'm just going to give every rep my absolute all, effort and accuracy, like I said. Wherever the reps land, they land. We assess that after and look at it from an objective standpoint. Fuck me. That was an absolute grinder. Wow. We got the 6 though. What I see time and time again with clients and other people in the gym, in order to complete a rep like that, they have to change their form. But that defeats the objective, and you're putting yourself at a greater injury risk. So if you're going for those 50-50 reps, the real ones that really you have to grind out, make sure that your form stays immaculate. Do not let it change. And that's where you require like a certain level of skill and composure more than anything to keep tension on that muscle you're trying to train. It's very, very challenging. It's something that I've had to practice over years, and I'm still working on it today. Like, could I say that my execution was perfect on that last rep? I don't know, I'd have to watch it back. It felt pretty good. There's a little bit, I did it in stages, Press a little bit, reset the brace, press a little bit, reset the brace. Could have been a bit of momentum involved. It's hard to say. Yeah, I'm picking at minute things here. It's still a very effective set, isn't it? That's the main thing. As long as the effort is there and you're doing it safely, that's the main thing. Good old lat pull down up next. One that's, again, easily butchered. I've had to change my form a lot on this particular movement over the years as I've come to build my mind-muscle connection and understanding like biomechanics and how they work for me, like how far I need to lean back, the elbow tuck I need to have, how wide I need to have my hands on the bar. And this is just things that you pick up from educating yourself, from sending form clips over to your coach, and just sort of trial and error, working out what feels good. From start to finish, my lats are on fire with this movement. In the past, I've got off it and I've felt a little bit of a lat pump, but I can also feel it loads in my forearms, my biceps, my traps. And that's what the goal. I want to feel it in my lats. And now, how I do it, that's basically where I can feel it entirely, nowhere else. And I think that's quite a good indicator that you're using the intended muscle to move the weight. If you're trying to target a specific muscle and you're feeling it maybe a little bit or not at all, as well as feeling loads of other muscles that you don't really want to target, then I think you need to kind of reassess that movement and ask yourself, could you be executing it better? Do you need to strip the weight back a little bit and reset the movement with better form? Next up, the upper back work, chest supported dumbbell row. So Something that I like to do with clients and myself sometimes when I'm doing a new movement, and this isn't a new movement, but something you could try, is just do the movement without any weight in your hands first. So I'm going to practice almost. I'm going to come into the bench as if I'm holding dumbbells, walk up to the bench, and then from here, I just lower myself down, get my chest in contact, keep my feet where they are, and just move myself down a little bit. Now I'm in the right position. I'm going to practice where I want to flare my elbows up to. Again, shoulders down, and then I'm flaring my elbows out about here, right? Squeeze that muscle, make sure you're actually feeling it. And now all I want to do is the same thing, holding weight, 45 kilos of weight. Yeah, got 6 last time, so see you there land today. Last back movement, got like a seated cable row with the neutral / semi-supinated attachment there. And I usually just jump straight in because I'm pretty warm at this point. Done 4 sets of back, obviously the warm-ups on top of that as well, so you don't need to waste your time continuing to do more warm-up sets, which is just going to take away from your working sets, you know. Unless you are doing a new movement, you wanted to kind of practice it beforehand, then it might be worth doing 1 or 2 very light warm-ups just to get a feel for the movement, but don't fuck around, just get into your working sets as quickly as you can. So the goal with this is nice neutral spine. As I come into the stretch, I'm leaning forward with it as well to get a little bit more length on the lats, pausing in the stretch, and then I initiate the movement with the cue elbows to pocket. So it starts with elbows down and then I lean back. It's not a lean and pull it using my erectors. Lean with the elbows and then lean back, and I'm kind of driving it into my belly button area. All right, on to the final 2 of the day. Side raise, superset with decline bench leg raise. Because these 2 movements are not very demanding movements, you know, this is an isolation. The decline bench leg raise, yeah, I mean, it's an ab movement, so it's not like the most taxing compared to something like, I don't know, a stiff leg or a chest press or a row. So it's okay to superset movements like that together. I probably wouldn't, if you're a bit more of an advanced lifter, superset big compounds like that together because they're so physically taxing. If you can do a set on stiff leg deadlift, for instance, and then go into another exercise straight after, you'll probably not push yourself hard enough on those stiff legs, to be honest, because they will absolutely fuck you if you do it right. But yeah, go with this. Similar to what I said with the chest press, you know, about the shoulder position. My shoulders are down, and what I'm not letting happen is as I come into this top position, my traps and shoulders to shrug up. I want to some extent, keep my shoulders down. Like, you want to allow the shoulder and scapula to move freely, but you don't want this sort of motion to happen. You don't want to just shrug at the traps. Keep your shoulders relatively down and think about reaching out rather than up. With your arm path, you want your upper arm slightly in front of your spine. So I'm not coming directly out to the side here. I'm coming slightly in front of my spine. So I position the seat just a touch down from the top position, grab the handles, lean back ever so slightly, sit up nice and tall, not slouched over. Nice pauses in the top and bottom position as well. We head over to the decline bench. Right, I'm just gonna get stuck into this and then I'll walk you through it a bit after. But ab mat, lay it down, bum just at the bottom of that. Hold on to this, but don't pull. When you do that properly, it's such a good movement. So, don't know if you can see there because this is in the way, but what I'm trying to do is come down to the point where my bum comes in contact with the bench. I pause, and then using my abs to lift my legs up and round my spine. That is the goal with any ab movement that you do, other than a plank, and other movements that train like TVA in that isometric hold position. You're trying to get movement at the spine. That's what contracts and lengthens the abs. So, as mentioned, using this ab mat to get more length on the abs because I'm putting my spine into a more rounded position at the bottom, rather than just laying down flat, because then my spine would just be straight rather than arched like that. What a class session that was. And you know what time it is now, people. Big bowl of croats. So what I showed you earlier, topped with banana, cherries, honey, bit of cinnamon. And you don't even need a taste test. I just know it's going to be banging. And that's all you need to know. I'm going to sit down, decompress, get myself in a low stress environment to make sure this food is digesting properly. That's what you want to be in, by the way. It's called a parasympathetic state. If you train, finish, and then eat straight away, your body is still in that stress state from training. So I've trained, I did a bit of posing, I've walked home, I finished making this, and now I'm just gonna sit here for a little bit, just chill the fuck out, calm my breath, and then start eating, and it will help your digestion big time. Polished off. So let's talk about the session. Mic is on. Yeah, all round, really good. Everything is flying right now. I'm not progressing every workout, but my form just continues to improve week after week. And you might think, like, how can your form still be improving at this stage? And it's like, it can always be better. You can never master training. That's why I love it, because when you think you know everything, or you think you're like, you've got it, you do something else, and you're like, wow, that feels even better. And it's just that continuous process of refining your training and just perfecting the skill of it over time. I love that. The only issue I'm having right now is my knees. My left knee especially has got quite bad tendonitis, right knee a little bit. So I haven't been able to train quads properly for the past 2 months, I would say. At the moment, all I'm doing is on both leg days, like 2 to 3 leg extension sets, super light. Like, I'm talking 20 to 30 kilos with BFR bands on. So blood flow, like you would have seen in the last video, cuts off the blood going into my leg. And as a result, I'm able to take my quads to failure with less load. And yeah, just doing like 20 plus reps on every set. And it's absolutely brutal and not really that fun either. I just want to be able to go like balls to the wall on a heavy hat squat. That's just how I like training. So it's very frustrating, but with time, I'm confident they will get better. They feel like good today. So I just need to not take the piss, basically, because I'm getting to the stage where they start getting better. I train legs and I'll maybe like test a split squat or a hack squat and they just get reset again. So I've just got to suck it up and come to terms with the fact that it's probably going to be another month until I can properly train them again, or at least reintroduce movements that were pissing them off before. It's what it is. It's a challenge, and I accept the challenge, and I will defeat the challenge, if that makes sense. I will get my knees back to a position where I can train them pain-free with time. Anyway, got a PT in 10 minutes, and then I'm going actually on a walk with that client, and then I'll get back and do some final bits of work. See ya. So that is PT's wrapped up for the day. It's now just gone 4:30. So I'm doing a little bit of meal prep, doing my vegetable concoction. As mentioned, onion, tomato, aubergine, courgette. So I've literally got like 2 big tomatoes, aubergine, courgette, pepper, onion, and then I use this bad boy, a veg chopper. Now mine is on its last legs. It's got a fucking big crack in the side. It needs a clean. So I probably should get a new one, but it's still working. So until it's fully fucked, I'll probably keep using it. But all I do is use this, and you can buy these from Amazon for 20 quid, I think. Whack it in my air fryer, which is the Ninja one. If you've got the Ninja one, you select Max Crisp for 10 minutes. With your seasonings on as well, that's very important. The seasoning I'm using is this one, which is a mix of garlic powder, Cajun and paprika. I bought those all separate from Amazon as well. And then I just mix it all together in that big container. Give it a stir, 10 minutes, Max Crisp, another stir, 6 minutes, done. Put it in a Tupperware, in the fridge, and then divvy it out as and when I need it. So like I said, if you want your meals to taste good, your veg matters. Stop using frozen carrots and peas. It makes your meals taste like shit. Plus, they're more starchy veg. So if you're dieting, vegetables like carrots, peas, sweet corn, they're higher in calories, right? So you can swap it for non-starchy veg like these, and it's less calories. Adds up though. Oh, Mike, check. Last meal of the day. It's a bit different. I've got some, I had some sweet potatoes left over in the fridge. So I've done like half rice, half sweet potato. Usually this is 100 grams of rice. I've just done 50 grams of rice, and I think it looked to me about 200 grams of sweet potato, maybe a bit more. I didn't weigh it out, to be honest with you. It looked about roughly what 50 grams of rice would equate to. So that's gone in there. 200 grams of chicken, 200 grams of veg, 15 grams of peanut butter in this one, and then a little bit of hot honey barbecue sauce from M&S paired with hot maple syrup from M&S as well. That combination is elite. And then obviously a bit of pink salt in there as well. And on the side, kiwi. Guess what? It's banging. What else do we want to talk about today? Not much really. I guess future plans. Got Christmas coming up. My family, right? We go so overboard for Christmas. So this year we're doing a talent show. I don't know what to fucking do for a talent show. I've decided I'm gonna write and read a poem. So that's my talent. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. I can't really unless I take my posing trunks over there and I just start hitting some fucking poses. Can you imagine? Oh, that'd be awful. I don't know, my grandma will be devastated. So we're doing a talent show. I've got to build a train carriage to hold 4 presents or 3 presents. We always end up playing some silly games, which I'm on board with. I love a silly game. And I think that's it, actually. Secret Santa as well, plus all the other gifts. And it's like 2 days of this madness, but we love it, really. Anyway, that's in the future. We were potentially going to be able to go on holiday, Kat and I, to the Dominican Republic, because TUI have offered us a complimentary holiday because I got food poisoning the last time we went out there. So because Jamaica's been hit with a hurricane recently, we said, can we go elsewhere for the same price? and they basically said no. So I've got the idea in my head now that I do want to still go on holiday. So I think we're going to try and look elsewhere for the start of December time. Maybe just like a little log cabin in the Cotswolds or the Peak District somewhere, hot tub, log fire, nice. And then going skiing at the end of February, and my push-up ends at the end of January, so I'll have 4 weeks of dieting before skiing. That'll be a diet break, and then the diet will continue for another 6 weeks after that, and then one more push, and then prep. That's the idea I've got in my head. Whether that plays out like that, who knows, but we'll see. We're just not going with the flow, but that's like the loose plan I've got in my head, you know. I've actually just had a last minute consult come through as well. So yeah, coaching has been super busy at the moment. Like I said earlier, so grateful for that. And if you are interested in coaching, there will be links down below. So have a look. I've got a new website now as well, so have a browse through that. You can see the services that I offer, the results that I've got with people, obviously the photo shoot results as well, referrals, testimonials, everything is there. And then you can just click a link to fill out an application form. I'll get in touch to organise a free consult call. We'll have a chat face to face, or we can even meet up if you're local and go from there. No obligation to sign up if you don't want to, but if you think I'm the right coach for you, let's get to work. I swear to God, this mic is the bane of my life. You can barely see me. There we go. But this is our little ritual. You wouldn't have heard what I said there, I don't think. It's about 7:45 now, I think. Start getting ready for bed at about 7. That's when I don't really touch my phone. I've got an app called Opal. Is it Opal? Opal? No. Opus. I think it's Opus or Opal or something, which I actually pay for, and it locks all my apps. All non-essential apps anyway. And I've tried screen time, the iPhone function, but I just end up still being on my phone and just closing it down. Like, it's too easy to close it down. I feel like when there's a separate app, it makes it harder to close the apps down, or reopen the apps, I should say. And also, because you're paying for it, you feel like it's almost a commitment, so you don't want to waste your money. I think it's like £99 for the year, so it's minimal. But yeah, that's been really helping. So I put my phone in the other room on charge, and at 7:30 everything gets locked, and I don't touch my phone again until about 5:30 the next morning to check any essential messages. But then I've usually got PT at 6, so I don't really then touch my phone again until I get back, which will be about 8:30, 9ish, and that's when I sit down to do check-ins. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I swear to God, this mic will be the bane of me. We're going to leave things there because my camera is also about to die, so love you and leave you. If you got this far, fair play.